30 years ago, it was truly visionary for people to decide somehow to have a Georgia Tech campus in Europe.
The relationship between Georgia Tech and Georgia Tech Lorraine, you know, goes back 30 years and is this critical part of the international strategy for Georgia Tech.
In 2010, we completed a strategic plan, and a very important part of that strategic plan was the concept of globalization.
It's literally at the heart of Europe. It is an hour and 20 minutes from Paris. You can drive to Luxembourg in half an hour. You can go to Switzerland, you can go to Belgium, you can go to Germany.
We had a small number of students coming from Atlanta every year, a small number of European French students, mostly at the graduate level, but it kept growing and evolving. By late 1990s or early 2000, we felt it was time to really ramp it up, to develop research program, but also to involve more and more undergraduates.
In 1990, we had only 6 master students. We are now over 700.
We started having some full-time permanent tenure-track faculty from Georgia Tech who are based here in Lorraine and were able to start the research engine of Georgia Tech.
Starting from that point, it was a huge increase of students.
We have a very strong relationship with our academic partners. For our master program, we have dual program with Central Supélec, with INSAM, 30 students per year. DMI that we created, we have associate member of DMI with University of Lorraine, Central Supélec, INSAM, and also the University of Franche-Comté. So you can see we are even broader than our region.
As the technopole, the area of Metz where new businesses were being created, Georgia Tech Lorraine played a role in that and keeps playing a role in the development of Metz as a technology-oriented city.
We have contributed greatly to the economic progress of the region. We have become citizens of France.
There are all those graduates who spend time here in Metz, spend time in Atlanta. They are the ones who have been, in a sense, being the ambassadors.
The strategic plan of Georgia Tech calls for globalization of our activities. The fact that Georgia Tech Lorraine is celebrating its 30th year indicates that we started early doing that.
How many truly American technological universities do you have in Europe? You have only one, it's Georgia Tech.
It's unparalleled in terms of being able to study abroad and still take major classes that are really helping towards graduation because it is a Georgia Tech campus with Georgia Tech professors.
Having that experience of 2 types of education, 2 types of culture, it makes your brain think differently. And it does accustom you to listen to people who have different views, different ways of doing things.
Georgia Tech is committed to global engagement. We want all of our graduates to develop a global mindset, to understand what happens outside of the borders of our country. Georgia Tech Lorraine has helped almost 8,000 students experience France and Europe, and also has helped to turn France into the 3rd largest source of international students on our campus.
So it's become a sort of a model of integrating engineering education with study abroad.
We appreciate first the excellence of your students, and we appreciate as well the diversity of students that you've got.
We have this model, what we can call the 3-stage rocket, with the first stage is the education that we started in 1990. In 2006, we built the 2nd stage of this rocket, which is the research. We have this research with one of the best laboratory, not only in France, but in all over Europe. So it's a joint international lab with the CNRS called UMI. In 2014, we created the 3rd stage, the Lafayette Institute, for innovation, for the commercialization of the technology.
This is really an extension of Technology Square and what's going on there. We're trying to establish a technology incubator in France where we can develop new companies, new products, and interact with businesses in France and in Europe.
So we are working on the same model that Georgia Tech Atlanta, so we created an ecosystem between these 3 pillars, the same that what you have here in Atlanta, and now we have this interaction between the 2 continents, Europe and the United States. So it's really unique in terms of model.
what are the real problems of industry and what do they really need to do to be able to translate those ideas into something that's going to be taken up by industry.
These last 30 years have been only the warm-up. We're going to see Georgia Tech Lorraine to grow, not just in the number of students that it serves, but also as a center of research and collaboration between scientists of Europe and the United States.
And this creates a link of excellence in several fields: software engineering, mechanical engineering, optoelectronics.
The Institute Lafayette has really highlighted the value Georgia Tech Lorraine can bring for translating basic discoveries into companies and into startups.
I did my PhD at Georgia Tech Lorraine, and during my thesis we developed a microsensor technology, and we were able to transfer that process here to the Institute Lafayette.
It's very important to develop a research program in science and technology at very high level because that attracts industrial. The interaction with industrial gives us the insight and where we can orient our research, but also it opens the opportunity for our students to see the real world and what is the future technology that they can develop.
And almost 30 years after, we now have 700 students. We are well established and well recognized. This is a very, very good example of a successful public-private partnership.
I can describe Georgia Tech Lorraine like a tree. It was planted 30 years ago. Now it has very strong and deep roots in France with branches spread all out over Europe, where of course we have fruit every season.
The future for Georgia Tech Lorraine is really amazing. I mean, we want to make this truly our European hub, attract students from all over Europe, in fact the world, and it enables us to work with others in Europe solving some really challenging technological problems.
In the next 5 years, the most important thing is to be able to scale our ability to host students.
Got a great footprint in France. I think it would be even better if you can build the same type of relationship in other countries.
The UK, Germany, Italy, and so on are countries that would really benefit from knowing that there's a resource like Georgia Tech available to them.
It has really become an example of global engagement and all the value that is created when universities establish centers and strong relationships in other countries.
As we grow the relationship between the US and France, we're adding a lane to that bridge over the Atlantic, but that bridge has traffic in both ways.
We have an outstanding team of researchers, and with that we attract the best students.
The students light up and change based on their experiences. There are many students come having never really been to Europe or traveled very much, and you can see how they grow over the time that they've been there.
I plan on staying involved with Georgia Tech Lorraine throughout the next few years, especially because they have a graduate program for Georgia Tech Lorraine that I can seamlessly transition to.
I would definitely be very interested in completing graduate research here at Georgia Tech Lorraine now that I've seen the facilities and have seen the sort of work ethic here as well as the culture.
My hope is that Institute Lafayette will become a magnet in Europe for high-tech industry to bring their people into our spaces and work with our researchers.
That's my hope, to see that what we are doing in the lab can be really in the market.
We have also, through Lafayette, contracts and partnership with startups, with middle-sized companies, and also big companies all over the world.
In 30 years, I could see Georgia Tech having many more buildings, many more students, and being even more networked throughout Europe with partners in industry, higher education, academia, and so forth.
We're actually taking what we learned at Georgia Tech Lorraine and trying to transfer that to a new campus in Shenzhen, China. We can use Georgia Tech Lorraine as a foundation, a launching pad that will allow us to create new opportunities with other leading engineering institutions, with other businesses, with international companies that do business in France and around the world.
Congratulations, Georgia Tech Lorraine, on 30 years.
Vive Georgia Tech Lorraine, go Jackets!
Joyeux anniversaire à Georgia Tech Lorraine.
We're incredibly proud of your achievements.
Happy birthday, Georgia Tech Lorraine!
Vive Georgia Tech Lorraine!
Joyeux anniversaire, Georgia Tech Lorraine!
Happy birthday, Georgia Tech Lorraine. Go Jackets!
Vive Georgia Tech Lorraine and go Jackets!
Bon anniversaire, Georgia Tech Lorraine!
Go Jackets!
Vive Georgia Tech Lorraine and go Jackets!
Bon anniversaire, Georgia Tech Lorraine!
%98 of our students say the Georgia Tech Lorraine experience changed their life.
Georgia Tech Lorraine is a great adventure. University Georgia Tech had the guts to create something like this, and I can only encourage the Georgia Tech to continue nurturing this little adventure here in France.